Mahatma Gandhi and many of his disciples created an impression that India is the nation of ahimsa. Definitely we followed ahimsa, but we had very powerful strong warriors, soldiers and very powerful kings from many thousand years onwards. India was never a nation of ahimsa, a nation which unnecessarily suffered from the invaders like Dutch, French, Portuguese and English people. Ahimsa was not our mantra. If it would have been our mantra, definitely many invaders came to India and they went back after fighting and came to know that one India is a powerful, strong country. In our Vedas, the Veda mantra never advocate about the so-called ahimsa and slavery and the mind of a coward. Veda mantras always say for example, Swadrisham Sada Pidaropayodaha Krachre Srida Shakti Vandoga Veera Chitrasena Ishubala Amradra Sado Veera Uravo Vratasaha. This mantra from Rigveda explains to us that, O great forefathers, you were so powerful and you fought with the enemies and you fought for the nation and also for the dharma. You did your best for protecting our nation. You were great. You make us great. You were bold. You make us bold. And you used the power of the weapons for conquering the enemies. So you also bless us to use the weapon for conquering the enemies. This is the Rigveda mantra. And you know Yajurveda mantra, Shurosi Shuromayidehi. Oh God, you are Shura, make us Shura. Virosi Viromayidehi, you are Veera. Then you make us also the veeraas. Very bold people having the muscle power. Dheerosi Dheeromayidehi, you are dheera with all wisdom and you make us the same. And Sahosi Sahomayidehi, you know how to fight with the enemies and endure the pains. The pain, the suffering of the pain which will never make further you the coward. Dheerosi Dheeromayidehi. You can see Mahosi Mahoyidehi. You are famous for your activities and boldness. So you make us that. So all out our Vedas, everywhere, you can see that when the Veda mantras always talk about the boldness, the courage and the great leadership given by the Ashwabhadibhyaschaha, the horse and the horsemen and the soldiers using the horse and the soldiers using the elephants and the soldiers who are protecting the nation. And never you can see in the Veda mantras, they advocate us to suffer for achieving something without eating food, following a satyagraha methodology as advocated by Mahatma Gandhi. We were very courageous, bold, powerful kings and also queens we had. We had soldiers. We had the enemy targeted weapons to fight with the enemy. And we were never apologetically approached the enemies. And we never begged them for anything. You can see in our Vedas. But what happened through Mahatma Gandhi, India begged to these Dutch, French, Portuguese and English people for our freedom. We and our people suffered a lot without eating the food. And in Kalapani, in the Andaman Nicobar Island, we can see that one. Hundreds and hundreds of great warriors of freedom were hanged. Mahatma Gandhi kept quiet, and we can see Bhagat Singh was hanged. Mahatma Gandhi kept quiet. He was always preaching for the so-called ahimsa. 54 nations got freedom with India. None of them behaved with the so-called ahimsa. We were following himsa to those who are coming for destroying us. We were following ahimsa and say ahimsa paramo dharma for the people who deserve to be treated with ahimsa method. And if ahimsa would have been practiced by our forefathers in Vedas, we would never have existed also. You can see 114 civilizations existed on the surface of the globe earth. On the surface of the globe earth, these civilizations got vanished. But India still is powerful with all her heritage and knowledge. Why it happened? We were bold, fantastically strong people. We fought with weapons. And you can see Bahubali movie with about 3,000-4,000 years ago, that Mahishmati nation in Gujarat, what the weapons used by them, it is a historical movie, not merely story. Even in the Vedic period, you can see Atharva Veda. Dozens and dozens of mantras are there which is used exclusively for Shatru Nasanam. And the weapons are explained in Atharva Veda. How they could conquer the enemy. Under such a situation, Vedas, the base of Indian culture, India always learned everything from Vedas. And we always fought against the negatives. We always fought against the enemies attacking our dharma, our culture and our nation. Unfortunately, Mahatma Gandhi preached the ahimsa, and Indians started becoming the 100% cowards. And India has become a country of coward till the last 65 years, and for the last 8 years only, we started thinking about the courage and fighting with the enemies like China and Pakistan or anybody. We even lost our self-respect. We even lost our dignity. And we were begging to the English people. And we think that English people are great, French people are great, Portuguese are great, and they came here as invaders and destroyed our culture. And we begged them, don't do it and please go and give our freedom. How can you get freedom by begging? Even with begging and a slavery mentality created by Mahatma Gandhi, we still got freedom after Second World War. After Second World War, Clement Attlee declared that the role of Mahatma Gandhi in getting the freedom for India is negligibly small, infinitesimally small. Mahatma Gandhi was not at all as an instrument for getting the freedom for us. We were wrongly taught about it. We were created an impression that without Mahatma Gandhi, without Jawaharlal Nehru, we would not have got the freedom at all. But our Vedas for the last many millennia advocated the bold, courageous pathway adopted by Subhash Chandra Bose and many other people, including Maharshi Aurobindo, Bhagat Singh and many other people. But unfortunately, this ahimsa siddhantam was spread only through the Hindus. It was not touching Muslims or Christians. Only Hindus should follow ahimsa, bow their head and beg to the foreigners and beg for food, water and our nation's freedom. Unfortunately, still we think that Mahatma Gandhi gave us the freedom. Our Vedas never advocated the so-called slavery, the whole so-called subjugation, the so-called kneeling for our freedom. The foreigners came here and foreigners ruled us and foreigners punished us. The foreigners hanged us. The foreigners killed us. They enjoyed all our resources. Still we begged them. The so-called ahimsa, nothing but cowardness for giving us freedom. Where can it be seen? Only in India. The person who was advocating for becoming the slave of foreigners, he has been labeled as the hero for the freedom fight of India. Unfortunately, it is the time for us to think about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Veer Savarkar, Bhagat Singh, and also Subhash Chandra Bose, and many thousands of people who worked with them for fighting against the enemies and not advocating for them but fighting against with them. So Vedas never advocate anything connected with the ahimsa as meant by Mahatma Gandhi. And ahimsa was really an abharanam for the bold people, and ahimsa was a weapon for the cowards. Ahimsa was a weapon for the cowards, but for a courageous, bold man, ahimsa was the abharanam and ornament. We, more than 620 small countries of India, that the real kings were powerfully strong, not like slaves or cowards. We should rewrite our history, and the so-called ahimsa, which made Indians the slaves of the world, the inferiority complex, the subjugation, and crawling in our knees, as L.K. Advani said. So Vedas never advocate the so-called ahimsa as meant by Mahatma Gandhi. We should learn that, we should understand that. Pranams to you. Thank you very much.